Hey guys, Andrew here with Verb. So the first time I reviewed Miku a couple of years back, I thought it was a brilliant piece of tech. It's a baby monitor that is capable of tracking your baby's vitals without the use of wearables. Now, it was great in concept, but I think where its issues really cropped up were around its connectivity. I had so many issues that I posted about it on Instagram and on my YouTube feed, and I said that I was just gonna go with Nanit, and I'm not looking back. I had so many app crashes and connection issues that it made a $400 monitor virtually unusable, which is something that no one wants. So what I set out to do is see if the Miku Pro release version is any better than the original. So to start on their site, the differences are laid out pretty clearly. Most notably, the internal chipset has been upgraded and they made a jump from a quad-core to an 8-core processor. Now, this is important because the monitor is juggling several tasks and combining multiple sensors to build a picture of your baby's vitals. So it needs a lot of internal processing power, which I think was the main reason the original had so many issues. Now, Miku making the jump to better processing, I guess, is their way of addressing previous issues and trying to deliver a smoother experience with the Pro. Looking at it in comparison to the original model, it's noticeably larger and now boasts an upgraded sensor for a clearer image, and also has a wider 140-degree viewing angle. We've got improved speakers at the top, and now it's powered through USB-C rather than the jack from the previous version. You can also connect to a 5 GHz network now, instead of just being restricted to a 2.4 GHz, but for us, we stuck with 2.4, had better results there. Now, you're looking at the wall mount version, but it does come in a floor stand version as well, and can be set on tabletops when it's no longer needed for crib viewing. So now that leads us to the app, and one thing that I noticed is that every time I open it, there's always a delay before the feed shows up. Even when I've opened the app, I leave the app, have it monitor in the background for a little bit and come back, again, always a delay, always tardy, always late to class. But from a quality point of view, the image is really clean. It's something that I used to emphasize a lot more in previous reviews, but over time what I learned is that parents, when they buy into monitors like this, they mostly care about breathing monitoring, emotion alerts and stuff. But yeah, the picture quality, it is really clean. When you rotate it, it automatically goes full size for you, and if you want, you can pinch to zoom in or out as needed. Both under the video feed and in the full screen view, you're gonna see buttons to toggle the audio monitoring, take a quick snapshot, and then push to talk, which you actually don't have to hold down. You can just press it and talk. It'll stop after about 30 seconds, but it's a nice little touch there. You can expand the menu to activate or deactivate the breathing monitoring or your alarms. You can also find the spot to play your onboard lullabies and sounds. There's about 23 to pick from, nothing we really use though, since we went with a different sound machine. So the improved onboard speakers that they built in there, that kind of fell by the wayside for us, unfortunately. And then lastly, you can also put the camera on standby mode in case the baby isn't in the crib and you're getting like false alarms or something. When the baby is asleep, you can see a real-time view of the baby's respiratory rate. Now that's what a lot of parents love here. There's no wearables, and this is what the camera was made to do. What I wish it would tell me is if the number that I'm seeing is normal or not. Like, it's cool to see the RPMs there, but it doesn't tell me if it's too high or too low. It's not alerting me, so I assume that, you know, we're at a safe level. But I'd like it if it were sort of like Owlet's display, where they showed the number, but they also showed the spectrum of where that falls. You can find the range on the site, but I'd love it if it were just like, you know, baked into the display somehow. Now, there's a lot more going on with this monitor compared to what other cameras are doing by just analyzing pixels. Like, we tested this on our 2-year-old who sleeps under a blanket. You can't actually see him breathing under the blanket, yet somehow Miku's radar is able to pick up all the vitals. That's pretty insane, and no monitor out there is really doing that without the use of wearables. And that right there, that's the biggest selling point that Miku has going for it. And with the updated processing power, it's gonna be a lot more reliable. Now, as I mentioned before, their proprietary like sensor fusion technologies, combining a blend of radar, ambient light, humidity, and temperature sensors, and like fusing them together to give you the data that you see in the app. Now, it's delivering all the metrics for free. There's no subscriptions for this, which is a major advantage over competing cameras like Nanit. Now, I've been told that Miku's latest app rollout would include an update to the UI UX, slight changes to the graphs, and then the no movement prompt being switched to away instead. Now, the update hasn't hit my phone yet, even though I thought it would have been already rolled out. But as of this upload, I'm assuming that that's probably gonna be coming soon. But for now, looking at the analytics tab, this is where you're gonna find your night and day sleep summaries. You can go back each day and see the data on how your baby slept each night. It's great to look back and be able to see the sleep patterns by day, especially in those early months. If you tap the trends icon, it'll give you a 7-day view to help you see the routine you're forming and if you're sticking to a consistent pattern, which is ultimately what you want. Hopefully those blue bars stay looking long because that means that you're getting good sleep too. You can also check out daytime patterns as well. So here you can actually see that Colin took a later nap compared to the other days, which if you look at the night trends resulted in a slightly later bedtime. So he still got good sleep though. Lastly, at the bottom, you can see the averages of RPMs, temperature, and humidity, but for us, we're mostly just looking at the sleep data. In the activity tab, you can get some replays for certain events like movement and sound. Now, this is probably something that you may look at in the early months, but a little bit less as your child grows. Again, it's awesome that it's all free though, and you don't need a subscription for it. Lastly, under the general settings, you can toggle things like the onboard light, video quality, and then the app theme, which obviously dark mode is the way to go. Now let's get into whether or not you should actually buy it. And by the way, it is linked below. Buying through that link helps me as a creator and it comes at no additional cost to you guys. Now I had low expectations here, but yeah, I'm actually pretty happy with my experience so far, but there are a couple things that have stuck out to me. The first is the app randomly crashes on me, particularly when I'm scrolling through the analytics. I don't know why, but it just does sometimes. Second, regarding the camera disconnections, it hasn't happened nearly as frequently as before, just once on day 2 and then once as I was filming the B-roll of this video, which is kind of funny, but it came back a few minutes later. Honestly though, my experience has been night and day better compared to the original version, but I've only been using it for about a month though, so I feel like that's not enough time to give it like a real fair shake. So for now, while I think it's, a top monitor, I'm a little hesitant to go all in on it and say, go get it. I still consider it a slight gamble for now. That's just me though. I know how some people have hated Nanit's disconnection issues. So that just speaks to how different everyone's experiences are gonna be and how signal and compatibility are gonna vary home to home. Now, one thing I think the entire category, not just Miku, but the entire baby monitoring category should address is how to give babysitters or family members temporary access to the feed without the hassle of having to download an app, send them an invite, accept the invite, sign in, account activation, do all that stuff. Because while I get that it is secure to invite and control who gets in, it is a barrier to convenience, and it's not uncommon for a lot of parents out there to have a cheap backup non-connected monitor from Hello Baby or something like that. So it does speak to the desire that a lot of parents are wanting a dedicated parent unit to come with these monitors in addition to just the app. Like I mentioned before, you really don't need a monitor with this much firepower. I mean, if you're pretty set on getting, sleep data and breathing monitoring, and it'll give you peace of mind beyond just practicing safe sleep, which honestly, that's all you really need to do. You'll be fine. It is a good pickup that is on par with Nanit and Cubo. And now if you're here because you want me to tell you, go buy Miku, it's what I'm using, it's great, go get it, you're in the wrong place, because at this point, we're pretty invested in the Nanit ecosystem. It's worked great for us and we're just gonna stick with it. Not because Miku is bad, but just because it's not exponentially better than. We're not paying for Nanit Insights and we're still getting good use out of it. So, we're not gonna fix something that's not broken. I do get overwhelmed with emails and DMs asking, this product or that product. And I'm so sorry that I can't always get to those. But when I get asked the Nanit or Miku question, it's in private, I always answer Nanit without question. But I'll be honest and say that with the release of the Miku Pro, it's gonna make it a lot harder for me to say that the Nanit Pro is that much better than Miku, because it really isn't. They're performing pretty on par. I'm gonna save you the unanswered DM and I'm just gonna say I'm sticking with Nanit for now, but Miku will continue to run in the background and I might give a video update on that down the line. Until then, that's all I've got for you guys. If you found this video helpful, please hit that like button down there. It looks like a thumbs up. For more videos and reviews for new parents, please consider subscribing to our YouTube channel. Thank you for watching this video and come back for the next one. God bless. Later.